go. Number 10, I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths. Meet Yuke Feldio, a red mage fed up with being treated like a glorified handyman. So he decides to give up on everything and thinks his adventuring days are over. But surprise, surprise, luck throws him back into the game, this time leading an all-female party made up of his former students. Together, they dive into dungeon after dungeon, and as Yuke guides them through tough battles, his hidden magical talents come to light. And as usual, this guy's got some skills. Yes, this is the good old isekai formula with hidden talents and female harem mixed in with some action moments. But you know I recommend something if it has something unique in it. Here, it's the mix of action and mentorship. Each student's growth feels, and instead of a demon king or a god, this time we have an average teacher. How cool is that? Number 9, an archdemon's dilemma, how to love your elf bride.
北の聖地ノルデンにて捕獲された伝説の種族エルフでございます。
Zagan is a young sorcerer aiming to join the elite 13 archdemons after their eldest member's death. At an estate auction, he impulsively buys Nephalia, a rare elf slave with a mysterious past, and brings her to his castle. With no experience in love, Zagan's awkward attempts to connect with Nephalia, or Nephi, lead to some genuinely funny and sweet moments.
恐怖の原因は取り除いたはずだ。
こんな破壊的な魔術は初めて見ました。
そりゃいきなり攻撃魔術ぶっ放したら怖いよね。
This anime is a breath of fresh air for anyone craving straightforward romance mixed with action. Instead of an edgy, overpowered fantasy protagonist, we get someone who is socially anxious. I mean, come on, that's pretty relatable. The romance is also really wholesome. It nails that warm, fuzzy feeling without trying too hard, kind of like those old school romances you can't get enough of. If you're into charming fantasy demon slave love stories, give this one a go. Number 8, Love of Kill. What's better than love between assassins? Chateau Dankworth is a rookie bounty hunter who didn't expect to meet her match in combat, and even less that he'd be interested in helping her out. That mysterious man is Sung Ryang Ha, a deadly assassin with a shady past, and a knack for showing up uninvited. When Chateau's company orders her to take down Ryang Ha, she surprisingly agrees to a weird deal. If he shares intel on her targets, she'll go on a date with him. The dynamic between Chateau and Ryang Ha is a refreshing twist away from typical romance anime. Yes, it has that usual guy who doesn't know personal boundaries trope you see in shoujo anime, but this time Chateau is a badass too, so she can hold on her own. This story blends action, romance, and psychological elements, so if you love some good assassin romance, give this a go. Number 7, Love After World Domination.
初めて会った時から君のことが好きだ。この思いを届け。
いや待て正気か？我々は天敵なのだぞ。
What if two world leaders who are in war were actually friends or in love? Fudo Aikawa and Desumi Magahara are in a secret romance that's anything but ordinary. He leads Gelato 5, Japan's hero squad, while she's the deadly Reaper princess of the villainous Gecko. Their love story is complicated by their opposing sides, forcing them to sneak around and hide their feelings from friends and foes alike. So this is an enemies to lovers anime, except the enemies are already lovers.
時期的にうまい。
本当か？よかった。
お
This show nails the perfect mixture of comedy and romance like few others. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and has goofy moments, adding a nice twist to the classic forbidden love trope. The characters outside the main duo are also surprisingly engaging, which helps you binge watch this anime as fast as possible. I also loved Asumi's development through the series, which showed how Fudo's love changed her. Number 6, may I ask for one final thing?
よくもこれまでの苦行を台無しにしてくれましたね。だから全員ぶっ飛ばしても構いませんわね。
Speaking of badass villainesses, we've got another one. Scarlett's engagement gets brutally axed in the middle of a fantasy ball when Kyle, her fiance, calls it off out of the blue. To make matters worse, she's labeled the villainess and painted as a bully by the entire aristocracy. She's been enduring Kyle's nonsense for several long years, and this pushes her to the limit. Instead of sulking, she demands one last thing: punch to the face for that sorry excuse of a fiance.
ついた二つなが
今何とおっしゃいましたか？
If you're into romances with a fierce female lead who fights back, this one hits the spot. And when I say fight back, I mean she actually punches back real hard. I think that's what makes this stand out from the usual villainous anime list. It's got that satisfying vibe of a heroine who's had enough and decides to rewrite her story with some much needed action. I just really hope this won't turn into an entire I hate everyone so I'm so arrogant anime, because that's the last thing we need. Number 5, Engage Kiss. Welcome to Beiran City, a flashy metropolis powered by some mysterious new energy source. Enter Shu Ogata, a young demon exterminator along with his demon partner Kisara. Together, they tackle the demon problems plaguing the city. So it's like Devil May Cry, except you get a badass girl and a boy along with some romance mixed in.
帰ってきた時女の匂いがしてた。あの時はごまかされたけど。本当は泥棒猫ってどこにでも湧くよね。
Engage Kiss grabbed me from episode 1 because it's a wild mix of action, banter, and yes, some kiss scenes that are borderline legendary. Shu's a rare type of main character who actually handles the ladies well and jumps into fights like a pro. And you got a solid trio of female characters catering to all tastes, from a yandere to an ex-girlfriend to a hot nun. Yes, you heard that right, and A1 Studios really brought their A game in terms of animation. Number 4, Sword Art Online the movie, progressive, Setro of Deep Night. You know Kirito and Asuna, right? Wait, you know them, right? Anyways, after beating another boss, these two step into the mysterious 5th floor, surrounded by crumbling ruins and lurking dangers. Now, to add to the set of problems, there are 2 squads called Dragon's Knights and Ancrad Liberation Squad who are racing to clear the game before them. Now, Kirito and Asuna should assemble a small team to reach a higher level.
緊張しすぎるなよ
ニュービー扱いしないで。キリト君こそ武器のメンテは大丈夫なの？
I think this movie proved to me why this anime needed a sequel so badly. As much as I love this anime, I need to say the pacing of the first season is horrible. The romance in the first season felt like it was written by a 4-year-old who read way too much fan fiction. But this sequel delivers fresh, untold stories and improves a lot of problems the first season had. This also made Asuna one of my favorite characters. So if you thought Sword Art Online was bad, then watch this movie and give it another chance. Number 3, Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World.
壁よ押しつぶせ。評価船内のトゲ吹雪。
In a world ruled by astral power, mages are hunted by the Empire, pushing them to form the rebellious Nebulous Sovereignty. After freeing a condemned witch, an Empire knight named Iska lands in prison, until he's offered freedom on one condition: track down the dreaded Ice Calamity Witch. But there's a catch. She's actually Alice Lise Lu Nebulous the 11th, leader of the Sovereignty, who also craves peace. When the two meet, they realize they have a lot in common.
イスカに釈放おめでとう。おめでとう。おめでとう。
ねえねえそんな大喜びされても
What hooked me was how Isuka and Alice's relationship leans into those classic enemies to allies tropes we secretly love. But this time, we also got a dash of magic to spice things up. Sure, it's got its cliche moments, but the slow build actually works, and unlike some anime, this shows how peace doesn't come overnight. Plus, the magic battles have some sick animation, so if you love some magical romance filled with action, give this a go. Season 2 got released, so you can binge watch both. Number 2, Rurouni Kenshin.
口にしてもそれが真実薫殿の言ってることは一度も己の手を汚したことがない者が言う
Set during Japan's Meiji era, Rurouni Kenshin follows the wanderer Kenshin Himura, who's a legendary assassin called Batosai. He plans to atone for his violent past by helping others, and this is where he crosses paths with Karu, who runs a failing dojo and is hunting a fake Batosai wreaking havoc. Kenshin helps protect her dojo, and she in return asks him to stay. Now the two come face to face with new problems happening in town.
流浪人ゆえまたいつどこへ流れるかわからないがそれでよければしばらく厄介になるでござるよ
I loved the old show, and I love this remake too. I'm currently in the Kyoto arc, where things are heating up and the big villain finally makes his appearance. There are times when the action feels old school, because instead of the usual fast-paced battles, here we get the usual land one hit, explain the attack sort of fights. But as someone who finished the first season within 2 days, I can tell this is definitely worth it. The underlying romance between Karu and Kenshin is pretty wholesome too. Number 1, Ranma 1/2 2024.
誰よ
早乙女ランマですすいません
I know, I've been spamming these anime for a while in my recent list, but come on, I love it, so give this some love. Ranma Saotome and his dad, Genma, get cursed during martial arts training in China. Ranma turns into a girl with cold water, while Genma becomes a panda. Only hot water reverses the spell, but it's a constant mess. On top of that, Ranma's engaged to Kane Tendo, the youngest daughter of his father's friend, and she isn't exactly the sweetheart he imagined either.
俺が先に風呂に入ってたんだぞ男と女じゃ見られた重みが違うの
すっかり仲良くなっちゃって
反発し合ってるんです
I gotta say, this Ranma 1/2 remake knocked it out of the park. The character growth is really surprisingly solid for a rom-com with only 12 episodes, and it balances comedy and romance so well that a lot of other rom-coms I've watched. Ranma and Akane's bickering has that built-in chemistry inside it, and every supporting character from the Tendo sisters to the crazy panda dads steals the spotlight every time. So if you want an action romance with tons of laughs and tons of sweet moments, then give this a go.